we want to talk a bit about vegan diets and estrogen dominance. And I wanted to start by saying that both Claire and I have been vegans and vegetarians in the past on a quest for ethics as well as health. And we both have a lot of respect for people who are trying to do the best for their bodies and trying to do the best for the environment. And it's very important that we come across as this is not about vegan bashing. This is about understanding the food that we put into our body. What is the hormonal response that we get from putting that food into our body? So one of the issues that we have, particularly with the vegan diet, is that it can lead to estrogen dominance, or it can make it worse. Because of this phytoestrogens, the legumes, the soys, the nuts, there is more phytoestrogens going into the diet. Phytoestrogens are gut disrupting. So then this is leading into that bacterial situation with the beta-glucuronidase, which means that we're recycling our estrogen. We also, vegan diets, it's so hard to get decent protein into a vegan diet. And we have this conversation with our students, with our clients on a regular basis, where they go, well, what protein am I going to eat? Well, you've got soy and you've got protein shakes and tofu. That's it. And so they're all processed. So it's incredibly difficult to get the protein macronutrient in a healthy way into a vegan diet. And so you've naturally got a diet that's high in carbohydrate, which increases estrogen because you've got the insulin estrogen relationship.
And I
Now,
just want to add in here, this is even if someone is doing a vegan diet sort of perfectly without relying on wheat and sugar and Oreo cookies, because of course they're vegan. But that's if someone's doing it like from a health perspective, it is still really hard to get, you know, to the place where we're not in all these instabilities.
So iodine, which plays a huge role in thyroid health, which we've covered, which is mainly found in seafood and dairy. You can get some in kelp, but it's when we haven't got enough iodine in the diet, that estrogen receptors are upregulated. So we need iodine to support that thyroid, to support the estrogen receptors. Low protein I've mentioned. We need vitamin B6, B12, D3 for that estrogen detox balance, as well as all the things that I was talking about with the liver detoxing. We also need preformed vitamin A, which only comes from from meat sources, and is again a big supporter in getting the liver to be healthy, but also going through those phase 1, 2, and 3 pathways. Low vitamin A can lead to high amounts of iron, which gets stored in the liver, which negatively impacts estrogen detoxing. And we've got this omega-3/6 balance in a diet, which is often imbalanced. So we've got
It's
a
not great.
lot of challenges.
And I just want to say about heme iron as well, because one of the arguments of is to increase your spinach and your kale and all of the things that have high levels of phytoiron. But phytoiron is not the same as heme iron, and it's actually the human body doesn't process phytoiron in the same way that it processes heme iron. So it's just really important. Yeah. So I do know a lot of vegans who are happy to incorporate happy eggs from local farms that are really ethical. And equally, I have a lot of people who just say, I just need to get well, and then start looking for the most ethical meat. And there is a huge boom in very ethical meat suppliers. Including my favorite thing, which is retired dairy cattle, which means that they're actually sort of given, you know, can live the rest of their lives once they've retired in lovely natural pastures, and it's only when they die of natural causes that they are then used for their meat. So it's a proper sort of nose to tail process. So there's a lot out there now. It's really different world, and I do believe that we've learned a huge amount from the vegans about animal husbandry. And if you don't want to look online, then one of my clients who was vegan worked for Compassion in World Farming, and she told me that Waitrose meat, even their essential chicken, sets the gold standard for animal husbandry in poultry that you would only get with the highest ranges in other supermarkets. And I know that it's the same with their fish. So it's I think it's about having an open mind and doing some research and actually finding where you sit. Because also the ethics aspect of farming a lot of soy and a lot of corn is not great either for animals. So there's a very big picture. So if you do get someone who's vegan, again, it's about supporting them where they are and offering education and support and some guidance, but also realizing that there is a much bigger conversation when we do the research.
Mm. So if you've got someone who's a vegan or vegetarian, come with permission. Is there an opportunity to talk about the reasons behind why you eat the way you eat? And you can, again, like Claire said, offer the education about why it's an important conversation. Because otherwise, if you were trying to get underneath estrogen dominance, you've got so many blocks to be able to get underneath it. It's a really hard job for a coach to be able to work with.
Sacred Cow, which is one of our recommendations for the books to read or the films to watch in Nutrition for Health, is very much centered around this particular topic and the whole conversation around it. The book is much more in depth than the film and phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.